Hello, everybody. This is TSI Review Part 5 Factoring. I'm going to make this a little bit of a quick video because we've been doing factoring quite a bit. You have these posters in class. Remember how to find the greatest common factor. What do we do? Okay. You find what number divides both numbers. In this case was 2. And we could factor out a variable. They both have x's, which they both had x's, but they both didn't have y. That's why we were able to factor out an x. And only one because we take the smallest amount. Remember, that's how we find the greatest common factor. Okay, you should have some notes on that as well. You'll see these posters around the class. Difference of squares, remember, how do we find out? We find the square root of 1, square root of the other one. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 25 is 5. And then we write them in our factored form. X minus 5, x plus 5. And factoring trinomials, voila. Remember, right? I forgot to mention since the beginning. When we want to factor, everything has to be equal to what? 0. So even these had to be equal to what? 0. All right, so keep that in mind. We have an equation, right? So right here, remember there's two ways of factoring trinomials. One if a is 1. Another one if a is not 1, right? Remember both methods, okay? You write them in factored form. Remember, when a is not 1, we have to reduce that. Understood? And then we continue working through that. Now, what I really want to talk to you about is solving by factoring. Let's say I forgot to put this as equal to 0. So when we're solving by factoring, it has to be equal to 0. It is. And remember our process of doing this, all right? So first we see, all right, let's go ahead and solve this by factoring. Does it have a greatest common factor? In this case, no, it does not. Then we move on to the next idea. How many terms does it have? In this situation, we see that it has only 2 terms. And when it's 2 terms, what way do we factor? Dos, right? Here's the first term if you couldn't see it. Here's the second term, right? There is 2 terms, right? Remember that a term is decided by the separation of an addition or subtraction sign. All right, so there's 2 terms. Can I use difference of squares here? Obviously we can. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 9 is 3. So the first factor is x minus 3. Remember, factoring always comes in pairs, so you have to have 2 factors. Boom. What's the other one? X plus 3. Right? And then we're going to find the solutions. How do we find solutions? Very important. These are not my solutions, guys. Right? Not yet. These are my factored forms. In order to find solutions, we put each factor equal to what? 0. And then we solve for x. So let's go ahead and solve. What do? We're going to move that minus 3 to the other side. Is plus 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. X is equal to 3. And vice versa to the other side too. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. X is equal to negative 3. So both of these are our solutions. Are what? Solutions. Very important. Importante. These are my solutions. Cool. Now, what I'm going to teach you, which I have not taught you, is, you know what? How can I use factoring when they give me a graph? Oh. How can I use factoring when they give me a graph? All right, so let me start by kind of bringing all the information that you should know by now. These points here are very important. Importante. This point here and this point here. And if you remember, those are our x-intercepts. Now, x-intercepts have other names as well. Okay? we have solutions, which is what I'm going to point out today, okay? That's how we're going to make our connections. Solutions, roots, and zeros. All right? So if they ever ask you, hey, can you give me the equation of this graph? A lot of times we're like, I have no idea how to do it. And actually, you do. We just haven't gone over it. And let me put all those pieces together and explain how we're going to do this. Well, so we know that x-intercepts, another name is what? Solutions. What are the solutions? X is equal, this one's right here is -3. This one right here is +3. You see that? Look at this right here. Aren't these the same solutions? So right now, I'm going to teach you how to work backwards so that we get here, where we need to get to. So what we're going to do, very simple, we're going to basically work backwards and we're going to make this equal to 0. So we're going to move this to the left and this to the left. So x plus 3 is equal to 0. X minus 3 is equal to 0. Voila. And guess what? These are now my factors. Oh, we're going backwards. So these were my solutions. And I went back to factors. And what are my factors? X plus 3, x minus 3. So if I want the equation, right, these are my factors, I'm going to multiply x times x, x squared, x times -3, -3x, 3 times x, +3x, 3 times -3, -9. Combine like terms, these cancel, x squared minus 9. Hello, my friends. We ended back into this. How do you like that? Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.